Welcome back, traders, to another weekly outlook. I hope you're doing great and had a wonderful trading week. If you have been following my Telegram channel, you know that I managed to go break even on my phase 1 challenge with my Forex funds this Friday with a nice beautiful trade on ES. So next week I'm going to get my free retry, and if you want to follow along on my journey of becoming a funded trader with my Forex funds, then join my Telegram channel linked in the description below. If you like these types of videos, like and subscribe, and now let's get into the weekly outlook. Okay, so now let's start with the dollar. You're looking at the weekly chart, and as you can see, we had a pretty bullish close this week. We closed above the weekly fair value gap and weren't able to trade lower from there. I outlined the mean threshold of this weekly bearish order block in case we see a reaction of there, but right now I'm not any more confident that we can trade lower from there. It's just a level I will be watching. Because we closed above this weekly fair value gap, it can act as an inversion fair value gap if we trade lower. It can act as support to take us higher. It's not very unrealistic that market can reach up into the buy side liquidity right here on dollar, because the last few weeks we were pretty bullish, and the daily time frame supports that. Let's look at it right now. So as you can see on the dollar, we traded it higher, created the low of the week on Tuesday, and right now also we closed above the balanced price range, which is indicating that market is very bullish at the moment, and we can reach up into the volume imbalance right here, which is also located right above the swing high where buy side liquidity is resting above. And here we have the buy side liquidity mentioned on the weekly chart. What we can expect going to the next week is a retracement into this busy fair value gap right here on the daily chart, coupled with this bullish order block right here. So we can see a retracement in the beginning of the week, and then we could trade higher, and my target is this volume imbalance right here. If market doesn't provide a deeper retracement, we could use the daily balanced price range right here, this bearish fair value gap, as an inversion fair value gap, which can act as support and take us higher into the buy side liquidity and the other targets mentioned. Now let's talk about the euro US dollar. So if we're bullish on dollar, this means we are practically bearish on euro USD. As you can see, we had another down close candle on the weekly chart, and I outlined the body of this weekly order block right here. This doesn't mean that we will trade into this weekly order block and then trade higher from there. I just outlined this level just to see how market reacts to it. But if dollar is bullish, we could see a run below these relative equal lows on the euro US dollar. Now let's go into the daily chart. And as you can see right here, we have also institutional bearish order flow. Market respects bearish down close candles and also the daily bearish fair value gaps right here. Perfect delivery, trades lower, and here on Friday we saw the exact same thing. Right now we're trading inside a bullish fair value gap right here, coupled with the weekly order block, and we took out this sell side liquidity pool. Now if we're bullish, then I think we should see expansion to the downside, to the upside straight from the beginning of the week. But of course we are bullish on dollar and very likely bearish on euro US dollar, because we have seen bearish institutional order flow in the past, and until market doesn't show us any other bullish signs, we can still trade lower, targeting this rejection block right here, these equal candle bodies, or the 50%, the consequent encroachment of this discounted wick. So we prefer upside on dollar and the bearish scenario on euro USD. We already traded into this fair value gap, so I think we can trade lower straight from beginning of the week. Now let's talk about the indices. Here our idea of a bullish ES was correct, but we saw a deeper retracement than expected. As you can see, as you can tell by the wick, we had a deeper retracement into a discount, but now we closed above this weekly order block right here, and I think we can use this as support going into the next week. So I outlined this with this blue line right here, and we can target the buy side liquidity pool right here at 4244.0. As you can see, we had a massive push higher on Friday on the S&P 500, which nearly closed above the high of the week. And as I said, we had a deep retracement in the first half of the week. We traded below the swing low. Market didn't need to trade below these equal lows because we rejected the rejection block from here, the equal candle bodies. The bodies tell the story, the wicks do the damage, as ICT always says, and we traded higher going into the last half of the week. Right now, except of this weekly order block, I have no other areas of interest on the daily chart. We have, of course, now this balanced price range right here. I don't want to see price show us a deep retracement. I think we will get a fair value gap after the Monday's candle closes. We will get a nice fair value gap, and then I would use this as an area of support to trade higher, maybe on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then we can target this buy side liquidity pool right here. So on NASDAQ, we were also talking about higher prices last week, and I mentioned that the volume imbalance high can act as an area of support for the NASDAQ, and that's exactly where the low of the week formed, and we took out the buy side liquidity pool, which we also mentioned in the last weekly outlook. You can watch the video on my channel. It's in the weekly outlook playlist. The Dow is still the weakest of the three indices, and of course, if the other two indices are bullish and we want to see higher prices on them, we want to see upside continuation on the Dow as well. So upside continuation from the weekly fair value gap is possible if we see bullishness on the other two indices as well, and still targeting this swing high right here with the weekly premium wick consequent encroachment. Now let's talk about the economic calendar. As you can see, on Monday we have a bank holiday, and on Friday we had a large range day, and everything indicates that on Monday we will see a consolidation. Monday will very likely be very quiet with low volatility, meaning this is a low probability trading condition, and I will definitely not trade on Monday. On Tuesday we have high impact news release at 10 a.m. I think if we can form a fair value gap on Monday, and then Tuesday could run lower into the fair value gap and then trade higher during the New York Stock Exchange Open, I think we could see a setup between 10 and 11 a.m. right there. I think this is a mid to high probability trading day on which you can look for a setup. Wednesday, pretty the same thing. I will be looking for a setup between 10 to 11 a.m. depending on where market is currently trading at. This is a high to mid probability trading condition. On Thursday, this changes a little bit because on Friday we have NFP, and because we have a lot of high impact news releases and medium impact news releases on this day, market could form a seek and destroy profile, meaning market could just form a consolidation and run for stops the entire day to create liquidity for the NFP news release on Friday. I think there still can be a setup on this day, which why I categorized it inside a low to mid probability trading day for me, but I think I will just sit this day out and wait for Friday AM session on the indices, because on Friday we have the NFP news release. We are entering a new month, and depending on how we deliver the news, we could look for a 10 to 15 handle run between 9:50 to 11 a.m. on Friday on the ES. Of course, if we see a large expansion during the NFP news release, it's very unlikely that market will do another large move going into the end of the day. That's why it could also stay inside a consolidation if we see a large expansion during the NFP news release. But I think that it will be it. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like and subscribe and join my Telegram channel, which is linked in the description below. And I would say we'll see us in the next one. Stay safe, trade safe, bye.